Hello, everyone. Hi. We've got a great group coming this evening. Happy to see you all. I know if you're like me, you're sort of in that space of feeling really excited about some beautiful things to come with family and friends, or just feeling totally overwhelmed and a little freaked out. But I think that this evening, what I have in mind that we'll do together is hopefully going to be a very inspiring time, but also just a time to feel a little bit more chilled out as we head into or in the midst of this season. So let me let me give it just another few minutes because we had like 25 people sign up, so I don't want to be in mid-sentence missing people entering the room. Um, let's see here. I'm going to pull this down here. I've got this crazy uh, desktop here. I'm not sure if anybody shares my craziness there. All right, so we've got Christina's coming in. So let's get started. I had a bunch of thoughts about how we should spend this time together. I love to start each of the Zoom gatherings we have in a way for us to introduce each other or introduce ourselves in a little different way than we normally do. Not, hey, I'm a this, this is my role, this is my title. I wanted this to be a little bit more creative and a little bit more conjuring up how we're really embracing this time in our lives. Our third acts, as you've heard me say before, if you're a part of this, is the chance we all have to rewrite the story of what life can be after 50. Um, Sometimes that rewriting doesn't begin as a plan. It begins with a transition, a change, a decision, a
Mhm.
shift. Maybe it's becoming an empty nester. Maybe it's getting pushed out of a job. Maybe it's finally, I'm sorry, I'm multitasking, admitting people. Maybe it's finally listening to that little whisper that became really crazy loud calling you of something new that you wanted to do in and with your life. I think that after 50 years on this planet, especially as the end zone becomes a little clearer in view, not to be morbid about it, but man, oh man, I don't know about you all. I believe since I'm looking around, I know most of your personalities. You're really curious about possibilities. You're curious about new ways you might live your life, new places, new shifts, new changes. But mostly, I think the thing that I love more than ever, it's a time that we're all trying to figure out how we can use our talents, our gifts to blend and weave together with our passions to make some sort of impact and make a difference and contribute in this life. Viktor Frankl's life, um, Man's Search for Meaning. I will say it's not just men, of course, it's all of us search for meaning and purpose in what can be sorry, I'm not a great multitasker here. What can be a wild and precious life, according to Mary Oliver. So let's start. Um, and what I'm going to do is a little unusual. So give me a second here. I'm going to share my screen. What I'm going to ask you to do tonight is to introduce yourself um, using what I've created are called a list of third act words, words that I've come together and put together in a list that replace the word retirement and all of that and all that that means. So I'd love to have you basically say, hey, this is my name, this is where I'm calling from, and pick one of the words on this list or one you might add to it that resonates with you right now. Um, and keep it at a one-liner. No backstory. We have a larger group tonight. No pressure, no perfection, just what feels the most true for you in this moment. So we'll keep it at, 15 seconds a person. I'm not going to put a timer on, but I want to make sure we hear from everyone tonight. Okay. And I'm just by seeing the number of women that have gathered, it really reaffirms to me that we all come together to hear from each other and hear each other's stories and hear about each other's feelings at this time of life. I think we need each other. We crave interesting conversations, and as I like to say, sort of like women that I can hold in my arm and link arms together as we navigate what can be challenging but really exciting time of our lives. So I'm going to call your names and just remember, I'm going to put the rewords up. Maybe that'll help. And are you all seeing them? You're seeing my huge
Right,
decorated desktop. So you're seeing them here?
right.
Okay, cool. So let's start, and I'm going to call your names. Um, whoops, Wendy's coming in the room. So first, let's go with you, Kat.
Okay, I'm Kat and I'm in Ajijic, Mexico.
Oh,
And I am going to add in renewable.
Woo!
Uh,
Awesome.
that feels so right to me to renew, like refresh, renew. And I feel at a great crossroads and renew. I feel like I'm actually beyond the crossroads and renewing is just right.
Awesome. I am writing that down on the list after we hang up. So thank you. Now, I'm struggling going back and forth between sharing and seeing everyone in the room. So let me just see if I can get organized here with a different view on my screen because I'm not sure of how to do this. So just give me a second. I'm going to go toggle back and forth here. Okay, great. Susan, why don't you tell us which of the rewords lit you up or sort of related how you're feeling right now?
I'm assuming that's me. Am I the only Susan on the call? Usually
Yeah,
there's
oh, I'm
other
sorry.
Susans in the
Yes.
room.
The
Um,
Susan of the night. Yes.
Hi, I'm Susan DeBar. I'm calling in from Long Island, New York. I'm going to go with an old standby. I've reinvented myself more times than I can count. Each chapter has taught me something about power, visibility, and asking better questions. And I'm putting asking those questions to work with the new project that I'm working on.
And it's fine. Go ahead and share what you're working on because you've launched a pretty powerful magazine that I want people to check out. So
Yeah,
tell
I'm
us
the
just
founder and editor-in-chief of Provoked Magazine, which is a which is a magazine for women over 50, and we write in a very bold voice, and we present stories and really respect the stories that women our age have, and lean into that wisdom and those lived experiences. And we write about life, culture, relationships, dating, sex, money, tech, kind of all of it. And I have 30 writers that work under me, so we're having a
awesome.
good time. Yep.
Awesome. Well, check it out, everyone. And okay, hold on one second. Okay, next, Zante, why don't you share your share about your favorite reword? And again, you can add one to the list.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks, Diana. I'm Xanthi. I'm Australian, but I'm calling in from Nantes in France.
Oh,
So my word is reinvent as well. So
awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. I love it. And tell us a little bit, give us a one-liner about why that is.
Um, just completely major pivot, changed countries, changing work, changing absolutely everything in my life right at this very moment. So yeah, full reinvention
You're
mode.
standing not on a cliff, you're standing at the threshold, right? I love it.
Yeah, big time.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Lisa Danforth, just in case there are more Lisas.
There we go. Lisa Danforth, I am calling in from Bellingham, Washington, my new home, which I'm super excited about. And the word that I've chosen is realign. And I turned 60 beginning of this year and decided that I was going to realign with what truly lights me up instead of whatever the expectations that were placed on me, all of that to go for what I want so that I can really live out my highest purpose.
Awesome. Awesome. And Lisa has reinvented herself several times, not just where she lives. And you'll be hearing more from Lisa. She's one of the speakers at Quest, and she's going to be sharing a fascinating experience around understanding our human design. Um, Also, I just forgot to mention Zanthe also is leading a workshop at Quest. So you'll hear more about that in either in the literature you'll see on the website or, God, who uses that word anymore? In the text on the webpage or in upcoming emails. So welcome. Hello, Talik. How are you?
Well, thank you. How about yourself?
Awesome.
Good. Okay, my word is to review and reassess my travel business because as time changes, so does the business, and I want to make sure that I'm always at the forefront of the trends.
Awesome. Travels with Talik is an amazing blog, and Talik offers some really cool experiences everywhere from China to Cuba. So check her out. For those of you that are already in 333, you can, if you haven't had a chance to do, look in the members list and look at people's profiles and set up individual conversations with them. So just the FYI. Okay, Marty McNabb.
All right, so I'm Marty McNabb, and I'm presently in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I would say, I mean, so many of them, and some are very close, I would say reconnect. And so I've been in a major caregiving space for the last couple of years, and my mom's being cared for my with my brother. So I am planning to reconnect with my purpose and the work that I absolutely love to do.
And for those of you that already have heard from Marty before or maybe have not, Things That Matter is a real conversation she has on her podcast, but also she'll be sharing her story at Quest as well. Melissa.
Hi, I'm Melissa Davey, and I'm in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. And my word is reimagine, because if you can imagine it, you can do it. So, and my whole thing in life is always being curious and imagining what is possible out there. So for me, it's reimagine.
Love it. Yeah, well, Melissa's famous line, she was one of our third X storytellers back in COVID days, and one of her famous lines was, I don't want to die at my desk. And at 65, decided to go from the insurance industry to being a filmmaker. Hello. So you certainly encompass that life philosophy. Thank you. And Melissa will also be sharing, being one of our storytellers. Christina.
Hi there, I'm Christina Vidovich. I'm just outside of the Washington, D.C. area. And the word that just jumped off the page to me was reveal. I feel like I've been tooling away with like a statue and just working on something, and the curtain has been on it, and suddenly it's pull, and I've pulled it off of myself. And then in my visibility work, I'm doing that for other ladies and going, come on, let's get visible. Let's do this together. So reveal.
I love it, Christina. She has been in 333 for a while and has really revealed herself to be on a roll. She had a very cool conference down in DC lately called Women Getting Visible. So, Christina, also, I'm mentioning these just so you know, not for the sake of saying who is or who isn't a storyteller, because our storytelling lineup still has some openings. So no one's excluded at this point. But Christina will be both our facilitator or interviewer or set up the storytelling on day one around third act impact. So thanks. Tanya.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, awesome.
I have a list of words. I was struggling, so I have three. Um, I am remembering, I am rebirthing, and I'm recommitting.
Ooh,
Mm.
love it.
Yes.
So give us a one-liner of if you can thread those together.
Um, I am remembering who I am and who I am meant to be. And I have recreated my life around that. And I have recommitted to myself and invested in myself all year long because if I'm going to bet on somebody, I'm going to bet on me.
Awesome.
So-
Love it.
and I'm in LA and I'm bi-coastal. I live in Charleston part-time and in Los Angeles part-time.
Tanya is a gifted photographer and will also be sharing her very powerful story at Quest. Amy Newpson, hi.
Hello, I'm Amy Noops and I'm in Minneapolis, Minnesota. My word is probably reemerge. So kind of just taking all parts of me who I was and kind of creating a career around that. My career in marketing, I'm losing my voice, sorry.
Oh,
My career in marketing has changed drastically, and now that I don't love where it's going, I get to reemerge for who I am and get visible for what I'm doing better in storytelling and being a story coach. Yeah.
awesome. Amy, along with Zanthe, we've got two story coaches who are going to be working with each of the storytellers for Quest. Not that a lot of you need too much help on defining your story, but it always helps to have an external support to give you some insights and make suggestions. So I'm very excited. Thanks, Amy. Joy, how are you? You got the link.
I did. I managed to get in, but the words I'm calling in from Vancouver Island, on the west coast of British Columbia, and it's a dreary day, so I'm glad to be here. But my words are one is remember. I've already done reinvention in my life, so I'm doing rejoice, reveal, and remember, and remember because I've just finished my memoir and it's about to be published. I just have to press the button to do that. I've
Wow.
got a bit stymied at the end. I've got one more little thing to go through before I can do that. Rejoicing because I've finally done it and written the first part of my life out, and it's just ready to go wherever it's going to go after that. And reveal because I'm revealing things that I've never talked about or written about
Wow.
before in my life. So
Mm.
those are my words, and I'm in a good place right now, and I don't mind this age actually. It's quite charming to be 90, so
Oh, wow. I first came upon Joy's story in a BBC article that blew me away. So, though Joy will not be able to come join us in Santa Fe herself, she is one of the women that will be doing one-on-one uh, Zoom recording of her story because you can't miss it. And again, she's in 333. Go check out her profile and you can see and learn a little bit more about this beautiful soul. And I'm hoping you've been coming to our weekly writing sessions on Fridays. I hope you can jump back in now that the heavy lifting is primarily done in your book.
Yes, I hope to do that. I've run into a little glitch with Amazon. They've got a new verification process, which is the very last thing, and you have to put
Oh,
photographs of ID. And I have screwed up about 20 times, so they've made me wait 3 days now before I do it again. I just can't seem to get the photographs right. So the lady who was a photographer on there, I could use her right now.
Tanya,
I'm just going to keep trying till it does work. So
Tanya, fly up to Vancouver. Hey, but one
I
of
have
the
a
things.
spare room.
If you
I love.
need, if it's like, because sometimes it's a sizing issue, like we can jump on a Zoom call and I can help you however I can. I'd be glad to.
I was in a cafe yesterday after I'd made all these uh, tries myself the day before and got thrown out every time. And I said to this young man who owns the cafe, "Could you take me a very good picture of my driving license and my passport?" He said, "Sure." He said, "I bet I know what you're going to do." I said, "Yeah, I'm trying to upload them and they won't let me. I keep doing it wrong." So he
Oh,
took the pictures and I guess he put them all together and they have to be separated. So
oh
uh,
my gosh.
a
All these
technical.
hurdles. Well, I
I know.
applaud that you're finally there, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it.
Well, it's going to be good. I had Mia Taylor, who wrote the article for BBC. She has reviewed it and given me a wonderful review. So I was very
Awesome.
happy about that. Yeah.
Love it. I
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Absolutely. Barb Scala.
Hi, I'm calling in from Connecticut, and my word is I don't think it's on the list. Can I add a word?
Of course you can. We
Okay,
already
so
have renew added, so
yeah,
go
we
for
have
it.
renew. So redefine, because
Love
that was my word this year about redefining success. And as soon as I stumbled upon that word, I was like, yes, I'm redefining what success means. And that's the women that I work with. And my tagline is to root into your value and rise with purpose. So reinventing success doesn't have to be about that hustle and right we've expressed that with a couple of people tonight. I want to do what makes my heart sing. I want to do what lights me up at this stage. And so redefining success is about creating a whole different way and an ecosystem to go forward in something that lights you up in that business format way. So
That's fantastic, Barb. Barb is also going to be a a storyteller in April. So thanks, Barb.
thank you.
Madeline.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
Um, I'm Madeline and I'm living in Massachusetts right now. And the word, when you first said rewords at the beginning, I was like, oh, rewilding just popped into my head. And I
Ooh.
think
Oh, that's
I've done that with pieces of land. And I was like, I want to do that with myself to take a page from Melissa's book. I've been a little too tame at my desk. So I think rewilding is the word.
Oh, wow. I
That's
can't
great.
wait to hear all about that. Oh my gosh, that actually gave me goosebumps when you said that. So
Oh,
maybe
good.
I
Yeah.
think that's my word too. I'm grabbing it. So Madeline is going to be leading one of our full day workshops on day 2 of the Quest Gathering. And as a story author coach and also ghostwriter, she's got beautiful insights. And one of the things, Madeline, you mentioned to me that you do with your authors is to have them do their human design and their gene keys assessment.
Hmm.
You and Lisa Danforth must talk. You'll have a
Yes,
blast.
definitely,
Yeah,
Lisa. Yeah.
awesome. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lori Crawford.
Hi there. I am in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, and my word is reawaken.
Life has been very serious for the past 10 years. And so in this next phase, I want to step into the next year with that childlike energy, wide-eyed beginner energy, but with the wisdom of lived experience. And Amy, it's so nice to see a fellow Midwesterner on these calls. Hi.
I love it. Yeah, and Lori also is speaking on our day one. And after being at our Quest Year retreat and leading us on the small cohort we have, leading us through a conversation around our identities without the mask, without the resume, without the roles, without all of the experiences we typically trot out when we introduce ourselves, to truly reconnect and remember and come home to who we truly are. Lori has a gift for facilitating those conversations, so there'll be a great experience. Meralda, how are you? Nice to see you.
Hello, everyone. Diana, lovely to meet you finally after the emails.
I know.
Before I do anything, I wanted to do a shout out to two people. One is Christina,
Oh,
or I think by this time she probably thinks I'm stalking her, which I am. Uh, so she kind of mentioned this on her post, and it drew my attention. And the other person is Susan, because I love receiving Provoked magazine in my inbox. And I love reading it. And I'm calling in from Chicago, ladies in the Midwest, and I am I am lit up by the word reimagine.
Mm, mm. What, or are they all parts of your life you're reimagining?
I actually am a menopause specialist, and I am helping women in midlife reimagine menopause as a backdrop and not their actual life,
Oh my gosh.
so they can live to their fullest.
So powerful, so needed, so covered up. I remember talking to someone 15 years ago, like, we don't talk about menopause.
Oh, I talk about it all.
I bet you do. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yvonne, how are you? Nice to see you.
Great to be here. I'm Yvonne Marchese. I'm calling in from Norwalk, Connecticut. And two of the words really kept popping out of me. So many good choices. But release and reimagine in combination, because I want to release some old ideas, the old tired stuff, ideas about myself, ideas about what's possible, and reimagine the same thing. So ready to step into some new territory.
That's fantastic. Now, Yvonne, many of you may listen to her podcast. There's several podcasters and several authors on this call. So if I didn't call you out, I apologize. But Yvonne has a really fabulous podcast, and she'll be coming to the Quest event to not only share her story, but also to be our photographer. And so you're a gifted photographer, and I'm sure you and Tanya will have a lot to talk about, but she was really excited about wanting to capture our moments, not to have like profile photos of everyone, but just to capture the moments we speak, the moments we exclaim and hug, and there'll be a place in the you guys might think this is a little crazy, but Zante came up with this idea, so we're going for it. On the first day, we're going to end the day, which is going to be a pretty heavy, not heavy bad way, but a real heady, emotional day. We're going to all co-write a quest anthem. So each table will write our own verses to the song. We haven't figured out all the soundtrack, but I can imagine, Yvonne, especially with Christina and her dance experience, we are going to have some really fabulous photos.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
I love it. Thank you. Wendy.
Hi,
I'm Wendy Knox. I live in Ojai, California, where it's like 80 today. It's crazy. So my word, it's something I say all the time because when I moved up here, people out of LA, people kept saying, "Are you retiring?" And it really pissed me off. So I say, no, I'm not retiring. I'm refiring. And that was one of your words.
Yes.
And one of the ways I'm refiring is I'm 71 and I am publishing my second book that'll be out in February. It's called The Way of the Dragonfly, Flight Instructions to Transform the Way We Age. And I'll be speaking more about that in Santa Fe, the
Yes.
meaning of the dragonfly in my life.
Wendy and I met on LinkedIn, but we really linked in on this sort of mystical relationship and experiences we've had with dragonflies. So I'm excited to meet you in person, my dear.
I know, me
too, and I
too.
have a dragonfly story to share with you guys.
Oh, great.
Oh, yay.
Dragonflies are just such magic, and I'm dying to tell you more, but I'm going to hold off. But you can probably see that I write about them, I speak about them, I paint about them because they transform muck into magic, and
Oh, I love it.
there's a lot of muck in the world, so we need the magic.
Thank you. You're so right. You're so right. Gabriella, so nice to see you twice in 1 week.
Exactly. Hi, Diana. It's great to be here. And I love this exercise, I have to say. I think it's just wonderful. Yeah.
Oh, good. We can
So
all grab a reword or 10 or all
exactly.
of them, right?
Exactly. So I'm calling in from Sydney, and my word is rekindle. And the reason for that is that I've been out of Australia for 30 years and have now been spending more time here. I'm sort of living between Vancouver in Canada as well as Sydney. But it's given me, it's provided me with a space and time really to rekindle old relationships. So with friends and family and past colleagues. So it's been wonderful. Yeah. And I'm leaning into that. Yeah.
Ah, well, Gabriella and I have spoken a lot about wisdom. Give them just a one-liner about this really cool initiative you're working on.
So I've got a little startup which is called the Wisdom Playbook. And the idea is that we can define wisdom and measure it. And so you can assess yourself, your levels of wisdom based on a set of 8 traits. And then there's curriculum and a community to help support you in the areas you want to develop. Yeah.
So what's your first
Yeah.
trait?
And so I'm building a minimum viable product at the moment. And the first part of the curriculum is about curiosity. So how to really create and cultivate your own curiosity in order to become wiser. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm very excited. So Gabriella is unable to join us in Santa Fe, but not only Gabriella, but we talked about it the other day. Hopefully, her mother will be really beautiful recorded stories that we'll share.
Exactly.
Elena, is it correct? Is it Elena or Elena?
Mine is Elena.
Okay, perfect.
So I am another Midwesterner, however, from Indianapolis, but at this moment I'm calling in from Puerto Vallarta. And my words could be many, but I will take rejoice and refire, not retire, because I've just finished my book called An Unrealistic Life, The Art of Following Your Dream Without Getting a Real Job. And it ties in, I think, with what Joy was saying. It's a redefinition of success. It's about my work as an artist and photographer, along with profiles of other people who are doing what they love outside the corporate system.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And I look forward to checking that out. I think that it's been very interesting to me, and I wanted, as we go into this next phase of our call tonight, it was really fun to hear from each of you. But I want to open this up to have any of you who wish to share a question for the rest of us around this time in our lives, not just the time in the world around us, but this time of uh, embracing possibility. I had an amazing conversation with a woman, Lani San Moonwalker, who is a Native American uh, healer. I'm sorry about the glare on my screen. Healer and oracle, basically, who's going to be addressing us at Quest in Santa Fe. And she and I were comparing notes around how we're feeling, not only as our bodies age, our challenges in some cases shift, and in lots of other cases are enhanced or increased. So we're navigating a lot of stuff, both internally and externally in the world. And one of the things that I keep holding on to, and I want to hear anybody's thoughts or questions of us all around how we are moving forward. And I have this analogy that I think works beautifully, which is that this is our time. If ever in our lives we were going to step up and step out and shine our lights in the world, it is now. Because we can, and I don't think anybody in this room represents as someone who wants to step back, who wants to duck out into the shadows and stay in status quo. I think we're all the kind of women who want to imagine in our own ways how we can make an impact in the world. And I think it does not have to be in these big, huge, grandiose actions, but I think of it like we're all holding a flashlight, and it has 3D batteries in it, and it can shine out beautifully in a small way. But man, oh man, when we start shining start shining more positive light out in the world, I think there's just so much possibility for us to have an impact. I mean, we all want to leave this planet knowing we've left it either in one person's life we've impacted or in a broader way in making a difference. And I'm looking around the room. Susan's like working, day and night to create a digital publication, which is different. It is provoked. It is real. It is raw. Melissa just came back from a tour of 19 different film festivals with her film Climbing into Life. Christina is helping women get visible. People are podcasting. People are writing books. People are shining their lights. Anyway, I'll stop my, stump on the importance of having the courage to step out and share our voices in the world. And also just invite you all, if you want, if there's anything you want to say or ask the group, raise your hand and we'll go for it. I know we have some curious women here. So what do you think? Anybody have anything you want to suggest, say, ask?
I could say something.
Awesome. I'm moving to my power plug. Sorry.
It's okay. Are you settled?
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people are thinking, and friends of mine think it's awful to be 90, but you know what? It really isn't. Because when you get to this point in life, you're responsible only for what you are doing and what you can create. And like, I know I've waited a long time to write this book. I started when I was 65, but it was buried so deeply, I couldn't get it out. But I've got it out now, and it's all done. It's been beautifully edited, and I'm starting on my book too. So I want to do that before I'm 100. So I'm going to work hard on book two, harder than I did on book one, because there's a lot of different memories in the second book, through marriage. And there was a point when I was 35 when basically I was on my own with three kids, and that's when my aha moment came and I knew that I was stronger than I ever thought I was. Made me strong. I was 3 years on my own. I bought a house on my own. It was filthy. I decorated it, ripped it apart, and put it back together, and got 3 times the amount when I came back to Canada. So that, I mean, he wanted to be on his own, and I've never told anybody. Anybody knows this except my kids, but he wanted it some time on his own. And I had a 3-month-old baby and my two girls. We went to England and we bought this house, and it just turned me into a new person. And I thought, if I can do this, I will never, ever, ever be a submissive walking behind my husband again. And we got back together after 3 years because he realized he'd made a mistake and his kids needed him. And I was the one that sold my house in England. I was the one that bought a house when we go back to Canada. I have now, since then, bought and sold all of the houses that we've ever lived in, each time for a profit. So I couldn't have done that if I hadn't have had that break away from the regular marriage. But I was never the same person. I was much, much stronger when I came back, and I said no a hell of a lot more. I did not take any shit, I can tell you, and I don't now. Being 90 is okay. I know who I am. I like who I am. I say what I think. I have no hidden agendas. I'm nice to people. I'm kind. And I don't know what more I can do except write my second book.
I love it.
And write about all of those secrets that I've never told any of my friends, but you ladies all know it now. So.
Oh, I love it. And you are so well named. Your mother named you so beautifully,
Yes,
Joy.
bless her heart for giving me this name because I have to live up to it. And at this time of year, you get all
Yeah.
these little things for the Christmas tree and with joy written on them, and I've called my first book Finding Joy. My life started when I pawned the ring. And the second one is going to be Embracing Joy. It is. It's that photograph that I used for that article for the BBC, with the green dress and
Yeah, it was spectacular.
so it's just embracing who you are and being strong enough to, be your own person and be authentic. It means a lot. And at this age, I'm thinking I'll go on a few years yet. There's nothing wrong with being 90 or 95 and just do what you can, listen to your body and have a good time, enjoy yourself,
Thank you. Thank you so much for your sharing and your joy. Kat, are you raising your hand?
Yes, I have a question for anybody who would like to answer. How does internalized ageism impact you?
Wow.
Wendy.
I can't believe you said that because that was going to be my question. So I have a voice that lives in my head. Her name's Edna, and I used to think of her as my inner critic, but now I think of her as my inner ageist. And she is constantly, and Joy, what you said really helps me because I feel so young inside and my number sounds so old, and so I'm constantly dealing with that voice that says, don't you think you're a little old to be starting a new book? Tisk, tisk, tisk. And um, comparing myself and we write the things we need to learn. So I've written a book that deals with that, but it's a prevalent voice, like a blow by blow, that I sometimes envision a remote control clicker putting her on mute. I do what I feel called to do and what my heart and my intuition tells me to do, but it's kind of a tug of war. So that's
Well,
why
tell
I love
Edna.
being what?
Tell Edna to just sit in the back seat for
Okay.
the ride. Yeah. I don't like Edna. I
No,
don't like
she's a
her.
bitch, but
She might just need to be educated, right? Ageism is a conditioned, learned
yeah,
experience. So if she gets educated, who knows?
Let's smarten
exactly.
her
I'm
up.
working on it, but
Oh
thank
my
you for
God.
asking that question.
Yeah, you got to get to know Kat. You guys should talk. Yvonne, you have your cute little yellow hand up.
Kat, I love that question. And it I have always been more afraid of aging than I was of dying. And I have come a long way. And it's the reason I started my podcast. But that internalized ageism hit me in my 40s when I started looking in the mirror and going, who the heck is that? And I was telling myself, even at that young age of 40 something, that it was too late for this, it was too late for that. And, I'm 57 now, and I feel more energetic. I feel more hopeful. I still wonder what I'm going to be when I grow up, but I'm looking at it with curiosity and excitement these days instead of dread.
Awesome. Awesome. And the name of her podcast is Late Bloomer. That's right. That's the whole name, right?
Late bloomer living. Yeah.
Late
Yeah.
Bloomer Living. Yeah. Tanya, you have a question or a thought?
Well, my thought has always been, because I don't let ageism creep into my mind. People are like, are you too old to wear that, or shouldn't you have short hair? Whatever the things are, right? I'm like, oh my God, I'm not buying into any of that. But my question always for people is, forget the age you are, right? The number. How old do you feel in here? And I remember I got that idea because I was sitting in a doctor's office waiting room when I was probably in my 20s or 30s, and there was a woman across the way from me, and we were the only two people out there. And we started chatting, and she was 80. And so she's like, I'm 80 years old. And the thing that drives me the most crazy is when people are always like, can I help you? Can I carry that for you? And she's like, oh my God, stop treating me like I'm an old lady. She's like, I feel whatever age she said in here. And she was like in her 20s or something. And so that's always my question for people is like, how old do you feel here? Because I used to say I felt like I was 19. I think I'm grown up a little bit. I might feel like I'm like 24, but I haven't aged very much. Um, and so that's my question, Wendy, for you, as Edna is screaming at you with her ageism. How old are you in there?
Oh, I feel like 35 or 40. I feel like I'm just getting started. So, I bring it up because I feel like we do have these conditioned voices inside. And actually, my book is about finding the different ways to deal with them and make friends with them and transform. But that is a really good question. And I think it is more important. So, I think lots of it is we're influenced by what we saw. My mom was very emotionally and physically ill a lot. So I saw her in decline a lot. So those images get trapped in your head. And then, we have to say, that's not my story. I have a different one. But
Yeah, what do we learn early on? There's an amazing book written by Tracy Gendron. She was actually one of our storytellers in the third act storytelling stuff events we had back in the pandemic era. But her book is called Ageism Unmasked. And she is a gerontologist and a lovely human who is fascinated by the gifts of aging. But she's also just her talk to us all is like, okay, yeah, there's ageism in the workplace, there's ageism in our culture. Look at any media. If I see another, you know, insurance ad with the couple riding on bikes with the sweaters wrapped around their neck going, oh honey, you can do it, it's going to drive me insane. But she said, start inside. That's where you have to begin because you can't control as much what's outside. You have to control what's inside. So Barb, you have a thought here?
I do. I remember when I was in line somewhere and this 90-plus-year-old woman was talking to her friend, and she was a beautiful woman. I don't know if I've told this in your group at all, Diana, but she was so beautiful and lovely. And she said, it's her birthday today. She was 93, 94, whatever she was. And I tapped her on the shoulder and I said, excuse me, what is your secret to the Fountain of Youth because I really am going to go and get that cream or whatever. And her response to me was gratefulness. So I just have always remembered that as well. I'm writing a book. Somebody said, your book isn't really a memoir. It's called creative nonfiction. So I love that. And Joy, you have inspired me because one of the titles is well, I'll tell you first. My middle name, which no one can believe or no one has or no one has heard of, is Content. And there was a movie in the 60s that was the main character was Content. It was called The Marriage Go Round. It's a good old film if you ever want to see it. But it was a play as well, and the one of the main characters, her name was Content. So my parents saw that movie like a week
that's wonderful.
before I was born. So that's my middle name. So I've always toyed with the title of Becoming Content. So there you go, Joy.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's how we help each other. That's beautiful. Thanks so much, Barb. I noticed that Marty and Elena have things to add as well.
So yeah, I just wanted to follow up with Joy. You had mentioned something about your first book, and you said something about selling a ring.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Because I have a little hearing problem. And I'm fascinated with the stories that get attached to things that matter. And I just had an amazing story about a ring.
I think that's why the BBC liked it. Martha, is it? I can't read that.
Marty.
Yeah. I think that's why the BBC liked it because I was jilted and I had a beautiful diamond ring from, it was an ancestry thing in his family, and he wanted it back. And when I got over my grieving stage, I said no. So that's when I sold it and went to Italy. So that did change my life because it made me realize if you can do that, woman, you can do anything. And it just showed me that, outside of your own four walls, there's a whole other life. And it got me, fell in love with travel, and did a lot of traveling since then. And I'm still doing it, actually. So I just had my 90th in Iceland, and that was absolutely wonderful. And I didn't think that I'd be able to get up hills and crawl over rocks, but I did. So somebody said about the heart stays young. It does. It does. It does not get old, unless you want it to, then it will. But
you should.
I just was fascinated. I was like, because one of my last podcasts, maybe 2 times ago, was a ring that survived Bergen-Belsen. And made it to so it like rings have just have amazing stories. And of course I'm looking at everybody's background and your Christmas trees and your paintings and all of those things thinking I want to know all the stories of those things that matter. Oh yeah, Lisa, I know and some of you are blurred, but anyway. But
well, let me
Joy, that's amazing. Maybe you'll be a guest on my podcast.
She should. Let me just say, one of the things once all the attendee list is all lined up for Quest, we're going to do what we did last time, is request that people send in 2 photos. One is a photo of themselves at age 5-ish, because we believe if we flash back to 5, that's, she's really there. She's sort of our true unadulterated, unboxed in self. The other is, for Marty's insight, a thing that matters. And we're going to display and talk about them at the thing. So thanks, Marty. How about you, Elena?
I was just thinking about a quote from Picasso that I heard long ago. I have never been able to find this, but according to something I read long ago, Picasso once said, you should think of an age where you were happy, you were vibrant, and you should mentally stay there no matter how old you are. And I've always used that as an ideal that I would like to participate in, I should say. I've given up 20. I'll take maybe 45 because I knew something then.
I guess.
Maybe not everything, but I knew quite a bit by that time. And if you by any chance know of the work of a woman named Ellen Langer, Dr. Ellen Langer, she's a PhD, teaches at Harvard. She's done amazing studies on aging and what happens to people. She did a big study where they took older people who were sort of tottering and their kids were taking care of them, etc. And they put them in a house together with all of the things that they would have lived with maybe 20 years before, let's say in the 50s, maybe. And they were surrounded by magazines, TV shows, everything that was in their past. And amazingly, they started acting so much younger and healthier. It was amazing.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Eleanor Langer, you said?
Ellen Langer, Langer.
Fantastic.
She has
And
a
I
lot of talks on YouTube.
Oh, I will check that out. Thank you. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I want to recognize Pamela Sylvan in the room. She's traveling, so it looks like you've had a few Wi-Fi because I've let you in a few times and you've lost connection. I'm not sure if you caught the thread of how we said hello to each other, but we put up a list of what I call rewords, relive, refire, reconnect, remember. And so just introduce yourself, where you're calling from, and if there's a reword that really lights you up, share us what that is.
Thanks so much, Diana. I'll keep my video off just to make sure I have enough juice, if you will. Yes, we're traveling, so I think as we're going between the connections drop and such. Anyways, my name is Pamela Sylvan, and as per your list of words, I briefly caught them, and I think the one that caught my eye was reclaim. And I'm currently reclaiming what was taken and I'm the person that is now bringing it back. And what I mean by that, how our culture, our modern culture, has taken away the spiritual technology that midlife women and beyond need to cross over into that place of power. We don't do that in our culture, in our modern ways, and we speak a lot about things like exhaustion. We're exhausted because we're living the same day over and over again. Actually, I just put up a piece called The Groundhog Principle, how we keep reliving the wonderful things we have done, and we have held that place, and we feel this restlessness. We can't put a name to it, and we keep doing all the things that we're doing, whether it be self-care, therapy, all of it, all wonderful things, but doesn't quite always scratch that itch for a lot of people. So I'm reclaiming what was taken and bringing it back.
Oh my gosh, Pamela. Do me a favor, put your contact information in because I'm not sure you haven't yet joined us in 333. So for those of you who are not members, this is not a plug to push you in, but if you're not, I would encourage you to go to Third Act Quest and check out the 333 Collective.
Okay.
But for right now, for any of you on the call that haven't become a part of 333, it's not easy for us to find you. So put your contact information in the chat so we can all learn more, because I've been following Pamela only for about a month, but every single post and piece you have written is really powerfully inspiring. So I'm happy to have you here today.
Oh, thank you for that. And I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So, internalized ageism. Anyone else have a thought, things they're defying with it, or what is lingering? Any sort of thoughts they want to share, or if there are other questions that you want to pose? We've got 1 minute left. Whoops.
What her answer is to that? Because she brought it up and I was kind of
Oh, good question. Kat, right back to you.
Well, I'm kind of hesitating. So mine is going to be, so I speak about ageism. I'm a speaker, TEDx, blah, blah, blah. That piece of I feel a certain age, I might be 75, but I feel 40. I'm just going to push back on that a little bit. I wasn't the originator of this. Ashton Applewhite was, as far as I know, is we associate those feelings, those positive values, qualities, etc., with a younger age. And actually, that's bullshit. They come right along with us. They change over time. So vibrancy, curiosity, energy, all those things we think of with younger ages is ageism. That is actually ageism. So what you actually feel like, whatever age you are, is what you feel like. It's just we associate these wonderful qualities with younger people, and they're actually just come right along with us. And so that's part of, saying fuck you to ageism is that's a mistake. That's not true.
Wow.
It's changed. We've had the qualities in us since we were 2 years old or when we were born, and they move and shape and shift. And so that's my.
I would put that in the category in the upcoming weeks in early January. I'm going to be initiating a formal call for story, and I've called it AHA. And AHA, these moments of clarity, these moments of finally saying, oh, that's what it is. I mean, I would put that squarely in a big AHA story. So, Kat, that's beautiful. I'm sitting here listening to everybody going, huh, I have to admit, a book that I was writing that I've ditched because it would be too boring, in my estimation, but is still very relevant to me is what I call the gifts of aging. And to me, and that's why I'm doing what I do. It's like I believe this is the best yet. And tomorrow's going to be the best yet because I will decide it so. Yeah, there have been shit storms and there have been health challenges, there have been economic challenges, like we all have survived and navigated. But I love how you said that. And the name, what's the name of your TED Talk? I loved it, by the way.
Aging sucks, or does it? Not sex. People hear it as sex, but if aging sucks, or
I
does
love it. I love it.
it?
It's so interesting because after I heard Elena talk about that work that Ellen Langar had said, like, think back to your most vibrant, your most, and I was suddenly like, it's right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm 55.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's happening for me right now.
Well,
Yeah.
and for those of us who've weathered storms, there's not one woman in this room who has not weathered not just one, two, three, but many storms of reinvention, storms. I love Bruce Feiler's book, Life is in the Transitions, and I've communicated with him about that. And I actually hired him pre-pandemic to be a speaker at a talk, but then that didn't happen. But let me just say, the external and internal disruptions of our lives are always going to be there. What stays true and what stays steady is who we truly are, what not just what our values are and what we care about, but honestly, our true self. There's a line, and I'm going to butcher it, but Martha Graham, the dancer, said something to the effect of each one of us has a unique gift and a light to shine in the world. And if you hold it back, you're denying the world of it. It is not for you to judge it. It is not for you to say it's too late. It's not for you to say I'm not good enough or I'm not smart enough or everybody else is better. It's not for you to do it. It's just up to you to do it and to share it, whether it be a piece of art, a writing, a book, anything you can create and share in the world. So,
Diana, can I
yes,
just jump in really quickly with something? I've
please.
only, as you know, I've only just arrived here on this call, but um, I just wanted to add, we here in the West, I'm in Canada, headed to Vancouver Island, driving across the country. We here in the West, we put a lot of emphasis on what was in the past, who we were in the past, what we looked like in the past, the story of the past, because we bow at the foot of youth. In a lot of other cultures, mostly indigenous cultures, it's the other way around. We flipped it this way because of the beauty industrial complex. There's money to be made on this, money to be made to stay and look a certain way, even after our machinery stops making other humans. And we put a lot of energy into what truly is backward. It's reclaiming our rightful place in existence in this continuum. We need who we are and are becoming, so who's coming behind can thrive. If we shut down at 30 because we think it's, they're a bag of chips and all that, and we keep fighting this thing called aging and ageism. The woman that talked about it was a TED Talk. I have to listen to her because I'm sure she's bang on about this. I think we're fighting the wrong battle.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Not to use a word that can trigger some people, but leaning in and sharing out to who we are and being unstoppable, being unapologetic, and being clear about our desire to contribute in the world, but also to live it as in a fulfilled path as possible. I love the idea of the dreams that we unleash finally at this age, and I like the idea that we really truly can make a difference, no matter if we're 90, 100, or 62, whatever we are. Those are numbers. They're not us. So I'm thrilled to see you all and just so happy you've gathered together tonight. And I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your week and weekend in whatever way you're celebrating these holiday periods. I will tell you, on the 30th, we're having a really fun gathering on Zoom again. I thought before the new year, sort of after for those of you that celebrate Christmas, after the Christmas craziness, it's a fun little exercise. We use our phone, our photos, and our calendars to do what I call awe spotting and aha moment spotting over the previous year. And it always blows me away what we find, no matter how much challenge we felt this year, what we will find are those tiny nuggets, the first bloom in your garden, the time you hugged your child for the first time in 6 months after. All of those things are truly important. So come on the 30th. If you're interested in Quest and you're not already coming, let me know and we'll share more. Have a beautiful night. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
See you, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Diana. Nice to
Bye,
see
Thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
Diana.
Mwah.
Happy holidays.
Happy holiday.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh.